I'm a fame head. So I'll say this. I actually don't like Aptitude as a skill, either in vanilla or especially I don't like Aptitude in ROM hacks. And the reason for this, I talked about this in the Code of the Burger King playthrough. It makes reading growths really difficult. So, like, let me show you what I mean. So, fame starts with Aptitude, right? So she will never not have Aptitude, which means these growths are not accurate because they all have plus 15 to them, right? And it just makes, like, reading the growths a little bit awkward. It's not that hard. You just have to add 15, right? But if I'm just quickly looking at growths, I want to be able to read them on a glance. I want to be able to read stats and growths on a glance. And Aptitude, so, like, you know, in Skill Emblem, you can't always get that. And that is the compromise that we kind of have to make for skills. But Aptitude doesn't actually do anything, as opposed to, like, Quick Draw, right? If you have Quick Draw, which is, like, you know, extra damage on player phase, it is something that you couldn't just give plus 4 strength. Whereas Aptitude, you could just give plus 15 to all the growth rates. Now, in Awakening Fates, I'm okay with Aptitude because it is a skill that comes from a class, and sometimes you're gonna have to unequip it, right? If you have Mozu and you have 5 skills on her, you don't have room to also have Aptitude. And Awakening and Fates, you can pass them down with Inheritance. So while I don't love Aptitude in that situation, it at least is adding something, right? Meanwhile, in Three Houses, Aptitude doesn't actually do anything other than say Cyril doesn't get a personal skill. And in Fire Emblem Engage, I think Aptitude is actually very cool. Unfortunately, Jean is still bad, but it does the thing where, like, it changes based on your reclass because it doubles class bonuses. And I think that's cool. I think that's a cool application of Aptitude. But I don't like Three Houses Aptitude, and I don't like ROM hack Aptitude. Because, and for different reasons, but they're related reasons, it doesn't add anything. You could just give higher growths, and in the case of ROM hacks where there is the ability to check growths as QOL, I do think Aptitude is actively detrimental, because it means that, like, so Fame has 60 strength growth, but if I forget what her strength growth is and I need to check it, it takes a little bit longer, right? So that's why I don't like Aptitude from a design perspective. Why the Jean slander? Does he always turn out bad for you? I made a video about trainees where I talk about why Jean is bad, but it's not like he always turns out bad for me. It's that statistically, he's just statistically worse than the other options you would get for less investment. Better than Anna, at the very least, because starting out in Martial Master is like a legitimate, or not Martial Master, Martial Monk is like a legitimate upside in a no DLC context. Being a Martial Monk is something that you can't be until Corrin, unless you are specifically from Jean or Alir. And so being able to access Chi Adept is really nice for that reason. But, that's the only, like... Good job, Fango. That's the only thing he really has going for him.